Hey everybody and welcome back. I've been working through my modded Let's Play for a few weeks now, maybe a month or so, and people have been asking here and there how they can get started with modding in Stardew Valley. I actually went and looked on YouTube and found a couple of videos that are, I don't know, like a year or two old. Most of the info is still pretty good, but there have been a few updates since some of those videos came out. So we're going to go through a quick video on getting started with some mods in 2022. First thing that we're going to need to do is we need to install the Stardew Modding API. You can just Google this. There's a couple ways to do it. For brevity's sake, and just assuming that people are just getting started with modding, I'm going to try and keep us to just one website. So we're going to be going to nexusmods.com. You just Google it and look for this link. A lot of people have some opinions on Nexus mods. If you don't want to use these guys, that's fine. You can also find it just straight through SMAPI.io. Again, just because it's a little easier for new modders, we're going to go to Nexus Mods. Now, you do need to have an account on this website to download anything. It is free to make one. You can upgrade to premium to, I don't know, get faster download speeds, skip a little bit of the wait time. We are not going to do that. So to get set up, you just have to create an account for free. They'll email you a code. You've probably done it on a million other websites, so I'm not going to run through that. So SMAPI is what we need to get started, and there's a couple of ways we could do this. We can look down here and find this Files section or Manual Download. I'm going to go to Files, and then what we're looking for is just the newest version of SMAPI. So right now that's 3.13.2, and that may or may not be the same depending on when you're watching this, but the steps do follow. So we're just going to go ahead and do a manual download of SMAPI. It's going to take us to this page, and this is what we were talking about. Since we're not paying for premium, we don't get a fast download. We also have to wait a few seconds for our download to populate. But after a moment, we can see SMAPI is down here, downloading in our Chrome browser. We're going to want a couple other things though, and you'll maybe want more than this, but these are good ones to get you started. We're going to want Content Patcher. And there we go. Now, this one doesn't do a whole lot on its own either, but a lot of mods will require this, so it's kind of nice to just have it in your folder, and then if you need it, it's already there. Same thing here. We're going to go to Files. Right now, the most recent version is 1.24.7. May not be true in the future, but for now, we can just go Manual Download. We're going to get a pop-up here that says you need to have SMAPI installed to get Content Patcher loaded, and that's fine. We'll be doing that in just a moment. You can go ahead and hit Download. And same thing, we're going to go for a slow download, and we just have to wait. This is the incentive to pay for premium, I guess. Doesn't seem worth it to me. You can see Content Patcher coming in down there. We're going to do one more thing with Nexus mods, and that is Generic Mod Config menu. Again, this is a mod that doesn't really do a lot on its own, but it lets you make some changes within the mods that you have installed without having to understand how to edit any of the files in your folder. So we're going to go back to Files. We're going to find the most recent version and go for another manual download. Again, it's just letting us know we do have to have Stardew Modding API installed, but we're getting there. Slow download once more. Nexus Mods allows you to make donations if you'd like. 100% not required. We're not going to do anything with that today, so we can just ignore that. So these three are all set. The one that I think a lot of people end up looking for, though, is not actually available on Nexus Mods. So we're going to go just literally Google UI Info Suite 2. The older version of this is no longer supported with the new versions of Stardew Valley, so we got to kind of hop off of Nexus for just a second. You can find this GitHub link, and this is where we want to be. We are going to be looking for this link to the releases page. And then we just want to find the UI Info Suite 2.zip. And again, all of those are just downloading straight into our downloads folder, which I believe I actually already have pulled up. So a couple things we can do here. I use 7-zip, but you don't have to because Windows does have the ability to extract files just out of the box. So no problem. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to extract all of these into the same folder where they are currently sitting, which is my downloads folder. And that one's going to take just a second, I guess. There is a lot going on with SMAPI, so that's fair. Once these are all done, we are going to go first into the SMAPI folder that just extracted, and one more time. And then if you're on Windows, which I'm assuming for the sake of this video that you are, all you want to do is double click on this batch file, and then we're going to get a new window here. And there are a couple of ways that you can get SMAPI installed. If you have Stardew Valley installed through Steam and you just basically click through on all the default options when you installed, all you got to do is press 1 inside this window. If you did not do that, you need to find where your Stardew Valley folder is installed. So for me, that's Program Files, and then Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Stardew Valley. And you can actually see it's the same right here as it is over here. If this is different for you, copy it, come back over to this SMAPI window, press 2, and then press enter. But for us, all we need to do is press 1, press enter, press 1 again to install, press enter again, and we're done. That is how SMAPI installs. Now there is a line of text here that recommends if you're using Steam, you can actually just plug this text straight into a window on Steam, and this is what that looks like. So if you go to Steam and you find your Stardew Valley, you go to Properties, you're going to see this. And all you need to do is copy this line right here, put it in your launch options, and that'll force, when you press play on Steam, that'll force the game to load through SMAPI instead of just the standard game. If you're not using Steam, all you want to do instead is find your Stardew Valley folder, the same one that the game is installed to, and we are going to be looking for this little guy, Stardew Modding API. You can just right-click and send this to your desktop as a shortcut, and then anytime you want to load the game, you just double-click on that. So that is SMAPI. Now, SMAPI doesn't do anything on its own. It just lets you do everything else. So that was the point of getting this other stuff. And these are all really simple. Again, we're just going to double click on this, and we're in the Content Patcher folder. You can see a couple more things inside. We want this folder that says Content Patcher. And what we want to do is we're just going to cut this folder, and we're going to paste it in our mods folder. Same thing with this generic mod config menu. Cut, paste, and again, one last time for UI Info Suite. Cut and paste. And yes, you can absolutely do that with keyboard controls. I understand. So all three of those things are kind of like a baseline. UI Info Suite is actually going to do some stuff, and we'll take a look at that. But the other two are just going to give us some options for further modding. When we press play now, what we're going to see is this window here, and it's going to start loading all of our mods in, and then it'll actually take us into the game. So the reason that we got the generic mod config menu was so that we can make adjustments to our mods. Once you have that installed, you'll see this little gear down in the corner. There will obviously be more options than this depending on what you have installed, but this will let you change things within your game without having to dig into your files and really understand how to edit them. So let's go take a look at UI Info Suite, since that was one of the ones that people definitely requested. We'll just load into one of my research farms. I use these for different videos, and you can see things like, oh, the traveling merchant is in town. We're feeling a little bit lucky today. It does a lot more than that. The details about all the different things that UI Info Suite can do are available through the website where we downloaded it, but that's just a basic how to get started with mods. Pretty much anything that you want to get installed, you're going to follow very similar steps to that. You'll drop it into your mods folder, and then if there are any adjustments that you can make, you can do it from that generic mod config menu, and then you should be all set. If you're just getting started with modding, I wish you well. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will see you all in the next video.